Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching the 100. This episode 3 of the 4th season. Hopefully, guys have been enjoying it so far. And if you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for free in the link in the description below. Just click on it, put the password in, and enjoy. And do you know what I actually learned last episode? Because now this season we have previously on the 100. It actually doesn't even say the 100. The show's actually called the 100. Mad mate. Why don't it say that in the title? I'm this far in now, I'm committed. I'm going to call it the 100, but that was just interesting that I picked up. And another thing that I find interesting is Ali was in the last episode, just at the very start, and I was thinking, no way she's back, mate. But she planted a seed on the story going into, obviously, this season. So we've seen a guy who was obviously being controlled by Ali, who was made to kill his brother in front of his mum, who refused to take the chip. And then when Ali ended up fleeing, when Clark was attacking, you know, he went over to his mum, cut her down, and she ended up dying and saying, avenge me. So now he's here in Polis. He's blaming Sky Crew, the same as everybody's blaming Sky Crew. You know, anything that happens, it's their fault. Do you know what I mean? It's Clark's fault as well. Everybody wants to kill One Hader, and you know, he's coming up with a plan to obviously take everybody down. Now, really interestingly, obviously, Rowan's been challenged as his, obviously, like, leadership role, and he has to compete in a fight, obviously, the way Lexa did and him the first time around. Now, obviously, he's not in the best condition right now. He's literally weak, and he's training with Echo, and he's losing. Now, obviously, she's saying, I'll fight for you. He's like, no, mate, I'm the guy in charge. You know what I mean? Like, I need to actually fight my own battles. If I have somebody else represent me, then it's, you know, it's not going to look good. People are not going to believe that I'm the leader. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to lose the respect of everybody. Now, like I said, what's interesting is, obviously, these people are trying to rise up and they're trying to attack Rowan and they want to take down Sky Crew. And we see Octavia with a hood up, mate, and she's floating around Polis and she's listening, acquiring information and feeding it back to him. And now, obviously, one of these challenges who wanted to actually, you know, fight Rowan, she took him out, mate. She went over to him. She's having a conversation. The guy was being disrespectful. She didn't like it. As he turned away, stabbed him in his ear, wiped the blade and hid it. So it made it look like he just died of, like, natural causes, really, because... Do you know what I mean? Stabbing someone in the ear, it's mad, mate. That was just a mad way to kill him. It was sick. And Octavia is having a good start to the season. I'm excited to see how she progresses through it. I'm loving her outfit, her style, her personality. It's so good. I'm really interested to see what goes on with her. Clark as well. You know, they're trying to find resources to help make the Ark sustainable again. They believe that this is the place that, you know, it helped them in the sky, now it can help them here on the Earth. They had to go and try and get a water tank from one of the other dropships that had come down. As they went there, it was taken over by a couple of the grounders. Do you know what I mean? They had hostages in there as well. They had one choice: either take this water machine and take it back with them to help, obviously, save the Ark, or they could use it kind of like as a bomb, as a distraction to fight and bring the rest of the prisoners back. That's what they chose. I personally think that was a dodgy decision. It is, mate. It is pretty dodgy, to be honest, because this sustainable machine could help them live for so long in the Ark, but they chose to save the people. Hopefully some of them stay as part of the main cast. And then obviously we come back to Arcadia. Clark done a speech to everybody. She was saying, look, mate, we need everybody to come together. There's a threat coming. We need to work. We need to get this ship back up into running working condition. And I promise you, mate, we're not only going to survive, we're going to thrive. And then, you know, everybody was like buzzing and the episode ended. So interesting stuff, mate. Can't wait to see what happens. If you do enjoy today's episode, please smash a like. Really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, let's jump into episode 3, season 4 of The 100.
Meals a day for people working as hard as ours, we won't make any friends.
Is that a way to make water? Growing our own protein like we did in the Ark is not an option. Remember that when we're starving, we need to know who's going to be on the inside of these stores when the radiation comes. We don't need to know now.
You don't need to know now.
What if it's a grounder attack like they did with Murphy?
What's this come from? Is that Luna?
What is this? It's ARS.
What's ARS?
Acute radiation sickness.
Oh, it's slowly starting coming then.
It's not contagious. Let's get them to Med Bay.
It's already here.
Yeah, man, it's coming absolutely rapid. You know what I would have done there, mate? If I was Clark, I would be fuming that I kind of give that chip towards Rowan. Now, obviously, it kept her alive, so, I mean, you can't really dwell on I wouldn't say past mistakes, because you had to do what you had with the cards that you was dealt at the time. But that's the time you need it, mate. You want us to save you? You do. You want Sky Crew medicine? Yeah, take this chip, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, literally, we come to you last time, you didn't want it. Now you want our help, you take it. Do you know what I mean? I would have proper tried to blackmail me. So it's good that she's back, though. I did say last season I was disappointed that she come in and then she was gone dead quick, considering she could play a key part, and Lincoln was talking about her quite a bit in season 1. So now she's back. decent. And we got Echo as well. New female characters coming in.
It's not safe for you here. What do you want?
We should speak alone.
If you can't trust Indra, you can't trust me.
The flame's been stolen.
Word gets out that he's lost the flame. The other clans will question his rule.
Whoever did this got in and out of the tower without being seen. In order to risk that, she'd have to care more about the flame than her own life.
Perhaps you should look closer to home. You're not exactly beloved.
I'll handle it.
Oh, mate, go and handle it, Octavia.
Created a killer.
Ah,
The street, they're calling her a Sky Ripper.
yes. Oh, Sky Ripper, Stefan, mate.
So proud.
Yo, I can't tell you how much I love like Savage Killers.
Actually kind of miss Polis. They had this drink there. Sweet, made out of sheep's milk.
Antari gave this to you? Told me you were trying to survive.
I was.
What else wasn't bad?
Maury,
John? Sex?
I don't want to talk about this. I'm gonna go to Arcadia. I'm a better thief than I am a hunter. I'll draw less attention alone.
The exposure is acute.
Yeah, I'll be harnessing that blood, mate.
You think I deserve this for refusing the flame? This is all that's left of my people.
Riven's looking for us.
I'll be like, yo, don't spill that blood.
Luna's rig is here, and if the fish in these waters are dying, well, basically we're screwed. So it's not an exact science, but the leading indicators are small species die-offs. Fish, insects. Based on the new data, I'd say we have 2 months of survivability. We just have to decide who gets to live here.
Raven, we're not talking about the list again.
Clark, we are running out of time. We have to make a plan for the day we close the doors.
She's not wrong though, is she?
Check the rover.
Where did he want to go? That's my first question.
We have no way to generate water. The harder number is 400. What if I told you there might be a fallout shelter less than a day's drive from here?
A doomsday cult?
That's right. The second dawn.
They built a bunker.
Their whole theology was based on writing out the end of the world.
No way.
It's one day.
For hauling pieces of a 310 patch.
Yeah, but if he's right, we don't need a patch.
If that bunker is real, we can save a lot more than 100 people.
If it's not,
Lost a
we've
day.
lost another day.
Look, if it's not, I'll make the list.
Do what you want. I've got a ship to sail.
See, you had to there, didn't you? Let's be honest, right? He was right, Raven, 100%. I agree with her saying that you've got to start prioritising now. If you're actually not going to let every single person that's at the arc currently stay in there, and you're only going to put 100 people in, then yeah, you need to think about who's coming in it, who you're going to give weapons to. Do you know what I mean? Because that's going to be the main thing. Because if the wrong person has a weapon, then it can be, obviously, maximum casualties caused to you, damage to the ship. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, you need to put all of these in place. It's hard. People don't like having the hard conversations. But the fact is, you know, you just stood there and told everybody that they're all going to be okay. And now, obviously, we've got to take this period of 6 months and condense it into 2. It's mad. Honestly, it's crazy. But now Jack has come with this plan. I think you have to go and check it. Even if it's BS, okay? It's 1 day lost. You're not going to progress rapidly really far 1 day on the arc. You know, this could save hundreds, maybe thousands, he just said. Yours can only save 100 people, which is like the show, actually. 100. What a coincidence. Not even thought of that. And Jaha looks sick with his bald head. I'm not going to lie. I'm on episode 3. I've seen it a couple of times, and I'm like, that's his best look, mate. He looks good. I think season 1 he had hair, no beard. Then he had beard and hair. Now he's got a bald head and a little beard. This is his best one.
The end is coming. And it's coming soon. Everything we once trusted is turned on us. There is a way out of the darkness. I can show it to you.
In the 2 years before the bombs, Callaghan sold off most of the second dawns. But there was one thing he didn't sell.
Why keep it if you're liquidating everything else?
Because that bunker is there.
You ran off with your girlfriend.
There's enough of me to go around. Of course, Brian would probably kick my ass. So.
Yo, I like how he dips in and dips out. You know what I mean? He's interesting, Murphy.
Already told Jackson, we can't spare anything.
We're talking about 7 doses.
That's a quarter of our supply, Abby.
Those
Will it
people.
work? Can you guarantee the medicine will save them? Because still activate needs to be used within 24 hours of exposure.
We have to try. There's a child in there with them.
We can't waste our supply on a long shot. They'll be dead from radiation inside 2 months.
Yeah, oh yeah, and is that flip side?
If you need to. But the radiation isn't killing that child. You are.
You looking for these?
Where did you... Never mind.
I didn't know how many you needed, so I took it all.
It's okay.
It's like food. Just put it in your mouth and take it down with the water.
You know, if Luna has a chip put in her, can she speak to the other Ali, or just Ali 2.0, and see if they can try and help save the world?
If her symptoms improve, then we'll treat the adults. Who knew he had it in him?
I did.
Yeah, mate, he's changed. He's decent, Murphy. I do actually like him. The thing is, right, I don't know, people can say I'm a savage or not, but, like, I try and look at things objectively, right? And what Raven was saying, I agree with. Like, first of all, if you can guarantee me, yeah, guarantee that that kid taking that tablet will 100% save her, then yeah, do you know what? Have it. Have that medicine. Do you know what I mean? It's successful. It's there to be successful. Do you know what I mean? Now, the fact is, if you can, and there's only a slim chance, I don't want her to take it. No, it's a waste. I agree. It's savage, and it is. But the fact is, you're on minimum supplies. Literally, you are on literally nothing. You can't be going around giving it to every single person when you don't know it's going to save them. Like she said, it has to be in, they say, digested within 24 hours of being diagnosed. If not, then the rate of success is marginally. Now, obviously, as a show, I feel like it's probably going to work, and then they're probably going to dash it out, and then Raven's going to be mad. But if it did work, then fair play, you can count on me and say, you know what I mean? Like, it worked, so what's your problem? I'll agree with that as well. If it does work, success. That's what medicine's there for. But the fact is, you can't waste supplies. My whole thing is, you can't waste supplies on the hope. It's got to be a guarantee. Do you know what I mean? And the fact is, yeah, if you know that they're not going to be saved in 2 months' time, and you're just going to throw them out into the trees or whatever, and the radiation is going to kill them, it's a waste. It is a waste. Right now, in front of you, it's not, because you're trying to save a child, but in 2 months, she's going to be dead anyway. It's really savage to say it, but, like, she doesn't deserve the medicine then. Do you know what I mean? That's why it's tough decisions. It's really hard. Like, but I get where she's coming from. Was this the girl that shouted when oh, she took it? She was the one that was fuming when he said that he was protecting them.
Who's gone, Sky Girl?
Get pre-order back off!
No. Así eran como protected.
So you're the new Flamekeeper. This is a sacred space. Leave before you get hurt.
Give me the flame.
Stop! Put down the sword, Octavia.
She has the flame.
She's my daughter.
Talk to Rowan. If we give him back the flame, I can convince him to show mercy.
Ascada knows no mercy.
I'm a Flamekeeper.
I'm honoring my faith, a faith you once believed in. I was called.
My daughter was not meant to wander the earth looking for night bloods. My daughter was meant to lead armies.
Yeah.
You found that daughter now.
An upgrade.
I'm here to kill you. I can run.
He'll find you. Don't throw your life away.
If they find the flame, they'll destroy it.
Mate, give the flame to Octavia and then run off.
Give me the perk.
Oh, mate, they bluffed.
Wait, Eliane, you don't have to do this.
She's still got it around the neck, it sound. You haven't fooled me, yeah? I did clock that she was saying that, mate. She's had that since the child, since on her neck. I tell you what, Marianne, yeah? When season 4 starts of you, in the first 2 episodes in France, I want you to be killed off Joe. I do. Mate, Love was the best character in that show. She should have killed Joe and moved on to season 4 and concluded it. And he killed her because of you, Marianne. And he better come after you in season 4. But in this show, yeah, season 4, you better give that thing back to Octavia. Now, I think it's interesting that Indra's got a kid, actually. I don't know if I want her to die or not, because she's kind of gone against everything. And like I said, I'm all for people who break the rules get a punishment. But I like Indra. She's one of my girls. So I let her slide. You know, I mean, I'm giving you a pass. You lucky. You're lucky. I'm giving you a pass.
It was a good plan.
It was a good plan.
Thank you.
What, are they going to let her bounce a bit or what?
You got what you wanted.
So did you.
They did, actually. They did. Oh, that's a good counter. Really good counter. Well, Rowan, he wants it back though, doesn't he?
Rowan will still want her head.
How does he even know it's her? Yeah, I was going to say, how does he even know it's her? Gotta tell some white lies, aren't you, sometimes? She's steaming it.
What the hell are you doing? It's not a really good time.
Can't argue now, she's dying right there. The thing is, so when you stare at the kid, it's different. You know what I mean? Wait. She's probably thinking, right, how can I lock more than 100 people outside of this?
This is it.
Well, if anyone's entitled to a lucky break, we are.
Lucky to have you. Leadership is a lonely pursuit. But you keep her centered.
You got it backward.
You're blaming yourself for killing that army. But your intentions were pure. Every choice you made to save your people. You've been shooting me. As long as that's the truth, you don't need redemption. How many people do you have to save before you forgive yourself?
Get your head.
The 11th seal. Their faith was based on 12 seals.
If they're still in here.
I said that.
It's still sealed. That's because it was designed to be open from inside.
Or from the outside. By somebody with a rover.
How'd their bodies?
The radiation would have killed them in days.
See, unsuccessful there. But you got to respect it. You had to try, didn't you? He was right. There was something there. It's not his fault that it wasn't obviously seal-proof. But big area, innit? Maybe you could make it seal-proof or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe you can... What would be more ideal? And to be honest, probably staying at the Ark and trying to fix it is more ideal because you've got all that technology in it. I was going to say, like, maybe just evacuating all the bodies there and then just sealing up that closed entrance. But you don't know if it leaks from anywhere else, do you? So probably staying at the Ark, you got more chance. But there with Raven, do you know, when she was looking at the little kid? Before I was saying, you know, not giving her medicine out because you can't guarantee to save a life. I think that they're tough decisions then. And, you know, she was right. If it was guaranteed to save her, give it. If not, she can't have it. But then again, when you see it, when a little girl's right there in front of your face, that's when everything changes. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't have much money in my bank now, but then if a little kid was stood right in front of me, I could see him dying on the bed, and he was like, mate, you know, a couple of £100 would save this guy's life. I'd be like, there you go, mate, literally saved that little kid. And that's how I would be with that medicine, to be fair. If I never seen them, I'd be like, no, they're just another number. When I see them, I'm like, mate, go on, just have it. Oh, she killed someone else?
Leave us.
He was one of the looters.
And the flame.
Oh, she's giving him the smash one.
Destroyed.
It's risky shit, that.
More people will have to die to keep me in power. Not that that bothers you. Sky Ripper.
That's actually a ballsy move, what she just done there.
It looks like we may need my people after all. There's a storm coming. When it hits, we need to be on the right side of that door. I've already started working on Abby. Come on.
Yeah, mate, you could become an asset. Mate, you need all the assets you can get. That's smart, mate. Now, if Clark's not on there, then it doesn't make any sense. She should have been right up there somewhere. Like, she's just left that blank as if she's not going to be on there.
If I'm on that list, you're on that list.
Innit? Literally, it makes no sense.
Write it down. Now we put it away and hope we never have to use it.
Like a will, innit? You never want it, but you have to have it. Oh, that's a great place to put that, Clark. Literally. Just fold it up and stick it there.
Luna?
We didn't treat her.
Her body's rejecting the radiation on its own.
It's not just like any other virus in the world. Just gotta give your body time.
There's one thing that separates Luna from the others.
The Nightblood.
Nightblood.
That's interesting. But it's like every other virus, isn't it, in the world? Like, you know, stuff's deadly, but people's bodies can take it, they can get really sick, and then they can self-heal, and they can get back and you know what I mean? And, like, be back to normal again. And sometimes, in desperate, circumstances like these here, you're gonna just have to let people run the course, aren't you? You're just gonna have to bring them in, give them a bed, see if they can survive. Well, obviously they can't survive because he told us that the only reason why she survived was because she had the Nightblood. But I don't know how they're actually going to use that. You know what I mean? Can they... Is there any way that they can use their resources to kind of like drain some blood out of her, like they've done with Ontara, and then use this DNA of the blood to create, Do you know what I mean? To create some sort of substance or enhance it, or how much of it? Like, my question is with everything is like, how much of something do you have to ingest for it to be significant? Do you know what I'm saying? So like this bone marrow stuff that he was doing when he was in Mount Weather, I wanted to know, right, could it just be a little squirt of it? Did it have to be a full-on human body? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how much would you have to extract from her for everybody else to get a bit of this night blood? Like, I thought that that's what's going to happen last season, but then when you seen Clark, she took quite a lot of it from Antara, and she was still suffering quite heavily. Do you know what I mean? And the Flames kind of like rejecting her because she didn't have that much of it. So obviously just taking a little dabble is not really going to do anything to your own system. But I thought it was interesting anyway. You know, and like, you can see here that people are getting put in tough situations now. They are. You know what I mean? In terms of rations, how many people are staying on the Ark, who's it going to be, who's going to, you know, be left to die. Now, obviously, Clark was thinking about not putting her name on there, but it wouldn't make any sense. Like, it just doesn't. You know, if you're forcing Bellamy to be on there, not forcing him, but do you know what I mean? At the start of the episode, he said he wasn't going to be on it. Then you deserve to be on that as well. You've done just as much as him in the show. Now, I actually thought it was a really interesting conversation that Jahar had actually with Bellamy when he was over looking for this new bunker. He was saying, look, yes, you killed all of those people and you've made some bad decisions in your past. But as long as you can live with them, knowing that every decision that you made, you believe that was right for your family and for your friends, then, you know, everything should be okay with yourself. And you know what, right? It's deep and true at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, now looking back at it, he's probably thinking, I killed 300 people and that was such a bad decision. It really was. You know, they anticipated that the grounders would attack them. So they decided, you know what, just because they might attack us, we'll go and kill them all. Bad decision. Do you know what I mean? That's a hunch, that. He had no confirmed attack happening. He was just stood there. He was doing a barricade, wasn't there? And, like, you anticipated that a potential attack might happen, so we'll strike first just in case. And all them people died, and it was savage. And, you know what I mean? It was a poor decision. But if you counter that and say, look, if you fully believe that that was the best decision you could have done to save yourself, to save your family's life, do you know what I mean, to save everybody's life that you care about, then you kind of can accept that, can't you? You know what I mean? If I do a decision in my life that I firmly 100% believe would benefit me, and then it turns out to be a terrible one, I can live with that. Do you know why? Because I was doing it with the pure good intentions that I firmly believed was the right actions. Do you know what I mean? You can look in the future and say, well, that was fucking terrible, that. I don't know why I done that. But at the time I done it, I thought it was the best thing I could have done to protect myself. So, I mean, I thought it was deep convo that they had, but I thought it was interesting as well. And the fact is, you know, they've let the flame go. Now, where's Inja's daughter? That's mad. Where's she going to take it? I mean, there's only one rightful place, and that's Saluna. She's the only night bleeder that we know, and that is clearly her... Mate, it needs to go back to her. I don't know how it's going to benefit them, but it's there waiting for her. She's the only one that we know that can actually take it, so she needs to have it. But I think it's interesting that Octavia's come with the wrong person's head and a fake smashed up flame. It's pretty good. It's not what I expected, but I liked how it went. And obviously I was shocked that Inja has actually got a daughter as well. I thought that was a good little twist. So that is going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So very interestingly, you know, we started the episode with obviously Rowan coming to speak to Octavia, pretty much acknowledging that he knew that she killed the guy last episode, which is really interesting actually, because I didn't know that he actually knew that happened. I thought that, you know, he was suspicious at the death because we seen Echo come up and whisper in his ear. And, you know, I never knew that he actually knew Octavia was going around and doing that. But he called me, he's like, look, mate, I need to speak to you. We need to go. We need to find whoever's taken the flame. It's been stolen. Now, again, never suspected at all that we'd get Inja's daughter being introduced. That's crazy. We're on season 4, and it's not even been mentioned once, and we haven't seen her. But obviously, we've been told about her past there, and that, you know, she thought it was a duty to kind of like, I don't know, go and find some new night bleeders, pretty much. And that's why she's kind of like not been here in the fighting army, in the thick of it, you know, like you know, Indra has with Lexa. She's been like on a merry way trying to obviously find more people, which I don't know. I understand where Lexa's coming from. I mean, Indra's coming from, that she's saying that that's not your duty. You know what I mean? Your duty was here to fight like me and be a warrior, but somebody's got to actually have that role. Do you know what I mean? Like, I understand where people are coming from, but like somebody has to have that role. It's like when you go in the army or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, how many times do you see people who like work in the army, but they only work, I don't know, like as a mechanic or something, and then like somebody's like, oh well, I was on the front line, I'm well better than you, do you know what I mean? Like they laugh at like the position in sort of like the ranking. It's like, well, hang on, you know, if you didn't have those mechanics, if you didn't have those chefs and those technicians, then you won't be able to do what you're doing. So I don't know, me, like somebody has to do it. I respect that she's going out there and trying to find it, and never expected it to be you know, her daughter that stole it. And then I thought it was a really good twist. I wasn't fooled at all, actually, with the fact that he smashed the flame. I remembered that Indra was saying to her that, you know, she's wore that ever since she was kind of like a child. And then when obviously, like, they was banging on the door to come in to try and destroy the tech, like, it didn't, you know, it didn't go over my head that it was just mentioned, and I knew that the one that he smashed wasn't the real one. Now, what actually surprised me is the fact that they actually let her take it away. You know, that is pretty interesting, and they've rocked with it that, you know, it has been destroyed, and Octavia has gone up and she's give it Rowan, and obviously she's gone and killed one of the guys and sent his head as well. So, you know, that's pretty decent. And the fact that Indra was saying, look, mate, he'll come after her, and I was like, well, why? Like, why would he come after her? He has no idea who's actually stolen the flame. He assumed it was a female, but that was just an assumption. Do you know what I mean? You got no hard facts. And what are you going to say? You're going to deny it, the fact that something that looks exactly like the flame that's been destroyed right here, and the fact that a head's just been dealt, you know, like on the floor to you. Pretty much, that's I would trust that kind of more than my suspicion at the start, even though his suspicion was actually true. And then again, what I thought was interesting is obviously like Jaha found this underground bunker, and he thought that that could be a place where they could all possibly survive, but it's not though, is it? You know, we've seen it. Look at all those dead bodies inside it. It's a good idea, but obviously didn't work out. So it is a day wasted, to say that, as Raven was saying at the start of the episode. And you know what? They've had some medicine wasted as well. But it's a tough one, that. And you know what I mean? I can't really blame anybody for doing these hard calls. When you're in a position like this, when you're on minimal rations, you know that you've got to fight for your life pretty much, and you've only got 2 months left to make an arc, like the arc sustainable to be, you know, living, and you've got to condense 500 people to a 100 people list, and you've got to start thinking about, you know, rationalising food and technology and taking guns off people, and who's going to be in and out, and, you know, who's actually worthy of having medicine and who's not. Those are solid decisions, and the fact is she didn't want to give it to a grounder. Let's be honest, like, one of the reasons she didn't want to give it to a grounder, because in 2 months they're not going to be on her arc. They're going to be out there in, you know, in the trees, and they're going to be dying after radiation. So one, she's seeing that as wasted. Two, her other counter was, if you can guarantee me this will factually work, then yeah, you can take it. And that, look, mate, on the label it says 24 hours after being diagnosed is the best time to take it. Anything other than that, then it's not going to work. And do you know what I mean? It's back and forth between her and, you know, her and Abby. And she ultimately chose not for him to have it. She can't give it. But then, obviously, Murphy's overheard it as he was stealing rations. He smashed it. He's gone in. They've only give one dose, you know. At least that they didn't pass it out to every single person. You just give it to one, seeing if it worked. It didn't. They give it back. He said, look, mate, you've only lost 1 tablet. But again, shit comes real when you're standing in a room and you're looking at somebody right in front of you who's needing that medicine. I was saying it before, like, I don't have loads of money in the bank, and if every, you know what I mean, like, if people come over to you and ask for money, you say no. Do you know what I mean? You're not a tight person. You don't give money out to every single person that comes and asks for it. But the fact is, yeah, if I seen a little kid that was dying right in front of me, someone could say, factually, give them some money, it's guaranteed to save him. Even if I didn't really have it, I would give it, because I knew that it was being used and it was actually going to work and I'd be saving their life. It's different having a piece of paper asking for it, or somebody telling you on the phone or in a different room, and then seeing the sick person in front of you. It changes your whole reality in the whole situation. Now, she was looking at that sick kid. I was thinking in my head, is she possibly thinking now, mate, doing this decision on who actually is going to be on this arc is going to be solid? I don't know if she's got the mental strength. I think she thinks she does, but I don't know if she actually does. I think this is where you need a Bellamy or a Clark to, like, go through it, because they've done savage decisions before and they've got a lot of blood in their hands. But I don't know. I feel like more people... I don't think 100 people are going to be on that arc. I think more is, and I think that they're going to come up with some sort of solution where they can actually move outside of it. But I have no idea yet. Nothing has been proposed. The only interesting thing that we found out is Luna's kind of survived this radiation kind of poisoning because she's a Nightblood, and obviously everybody else who's currently not had it has died. So I'm interested to see where we go with that one. So thanks for checking out today's episode. If you did enjoy it, please smash the like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.